Hello again, everyone. The question that I'm asking in this video is the respected Supreme Leader Kim Jong Un of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea a god? Do people consider him a god? Do North Koreans worship Kim Jong Un like a deity? The reason why I'm asking this question is because I happened to see the title of another video kind of close to mine, and it stated Kim Jong Un is a god, and somebody said people worship him in North Korea, worship him like a god. So I just asked the question, what do people think in North Korea think of Kim Jong Un? So, let's explore this a little more, because it really is kind of an interesting question. We have to look for three things when we're looking for the answer to the question. We have to look for three things. What Kim Jong Un thinks. How does he think of himself? What do the people think of Kim Jong Un? And what the state thinks. In other words, what the official media, the propaganda of the state, do they elevate Kim Jong Un to the position of a god? So, in other words, this is what we're looking for. Does Kim Jong Un does he behave like a deity? Does Kim Jong Un behave like a deity? Do people worship Kim Jong Un, or does the official state propaganda portray Kim Jong Un as a deity? That's what we're looking for. So, are you with me so far? You're good. Okay. So, I've often said, and I'll continue to say it, that when you study a culture other than your own, it's like holding up a mirror to yourself. Because the first question you ask, you compare your culture to the other culture. And you say, well, do I do that? I mean, that's an honest appraisal, they're doing that, do I do that? So before you criticize somebody for doing something, you got to, well, do I do the same thing? Because actually when you're criticizing someone else, you're taking the moral high ground. What you're saying is, I'm a better person than you are, therefore I have the right to criticize you for bad behavior. See the way that works? You have to come with what the law calls, the doctrine of the law calls, clean hands. In other words, if you bring a lawsuit against someone, you better not be doing the same thing yourself. Otherwise, no one in the court will listen to you, because you're guilty of the same offense. So in other words, if someone says, well, Kim Jong Un is a god, well, do Americans ever treat their presidents like a god? Has that ever happened? And there's a good question. So, it actually, believe it or not, kind of has, you really have to, you have to be honest here and say, yes, it has happened. And no, I'm not talking about George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. I'm talking about Barack Obama, the president before Trump. And, let's re-ask these questions. Did Barack Obama ever think of himself as a deity? In other words, did he ever think of himself as a god? And, clearly, and take a look at these pictures here, clearly Barack Obama thought of himself as being morally superior to everyone else. I mean, you look at these pictures, and anyone who's ever come in contact with Barack Obama came away thinking that they had just been in the presence of a devout, holy man. Obama just kind of floated above everybody else. And what did the people think about Barack Obama? Well, there were actually people who prayed to Barack Obama as a god. They wanted Obama to cure them of an illness or help them with financial difficulties. Here's one example. Here's a picture of one example of someone praying to Obama. Obama's driving by in his entourage, and there's a guy on his hands and knees in the street praying to Obama. And there's a lot of pictures like this. This is just one. How about the American mass media? Well, that's where it gets really interesting, because state propaganda, American propaganda, constantly portrayed Obama as a deity. And I mean, you be the judge here. Just look at these pictures. Newsweek put him on the cover with a halo. In fact, here's a collage, a whole collage of Barack Obama with halos. The mass media, the mainstream media, mostly coming out of New York and Washington, D.C., like to portray Barack Obama with a halo. That was just their thing. They even portrayed him as Jesus Christ, for crying out loud. And there were plenty of pictures with Obama walking around with his nose in the air. I mean, that was a typical picture of Obama, you know, with his nose in the air. So now let's compare that with Kim Jong Un. I couldn't find any pictures of Kim Jong Un praying. There's just the one picture that I found of Kim Jong Un when he visits, periodically visits Kamsusan Palace of the Sun. He bows to his father, who's lying in state there, and here's a picture of him bowing. He bows, and also bows to his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. But that's really a kowtow. That's nothing to do with praying. It has to do with reverence for the departed, and that's just the way they do things. But otherwise, has anyone ever seen Kim Jong Un behave like a deity? Has Kim Jong Un ever walked around with his nose in the air like Obama? And does Kim Jong Un avoid physical contact with people like Obama did? Obama didn't like to be touched. You know, his person was holy, so he didn't like people touching him. Does Kim Jong Un ever make people bow to him? You know, like that? Do people ever pray to Kim Jong Un in public, like we saw the guy praying to Obama? Does that ever happen? And does the North Korean media, North Korean propaganda, do they ever portray Kim Jong Un with a halo or as a god, as a deity? So those are the questions we have to ask. And I'll tell you what, I'll just leave you to judge whether that's true or not. I've just taken a bunch of pictures here, mostly at random, of Kim Jong Un out and about doing his thing. And the picture says 1,000 words. I mean, I could talk for a whole hour explaining what one picture will tell you in 10 seconds. So just let you look at all these pictures. I've set up a little slideshow here. And the song that I'm going to play with the slideshow is by the Morongbong Band with Kim Yu-kyung, and she's singing Burning Wish, which is a lovely little song written for Kim Jong Un. And it's kind of a song about the subject, I believe, is, you know, when Kim Jong Un is out and about, you know, talking to people and going here and there, that the burning wish is that he always is safe and nothing bad happens to him. Something like that. So, again, here's the slideshow, and just enjoy it, and I'll let it play itself out, and tell me if you see a God anywhere in these pictures. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
이 한밤도 문기가시 운수님 생각하며 우리 마음 차욱차욱 간절히 따라섭니다. 우리 운명 우리 사랑을 이어주시며